want to talk to you about the 10 essential things that you might want to consider when you're making your first trips over to Europe in your motorhome especially, and maybe in your caravan as well. So the first thing is
you have to remember that the 90-day limit for the Schengen zone.
Yeah. So
Yes.
the Schengen zone, I'm just going to read some notes that I've made for these 10 things. 90-day limit, that's a Schengen zone visa. Loads of countries, almost all countries in Europe are in the Schengen zone. And you can go online to a Schengen calculator, put in your dates, and it'll work out for you, because it's a 90-day limit in a 180-day rolling period. So as soon as you're out of the Schengen zone, you start to reaccumulate your 180-day limit again. So the next thing is the van insurance. So the thing about the van insurance is that a lot of insurance companies don't automatically include European cover, do they?
No, so you'd have to check.
So you have to ask for it, or make sure you upgrade to it, and then some even limit you to the 90 days
Yes.
in any 1 year as well. So they're not very
No, because I don't know if it covers you if you go out of the Schengen zone for a few weeks to Morocco and then come back. I don't think your insurance covers you for that, so I think you'd have to check that.
Yeah. Also, if you go to Morocco, you will need separate insurance.
Oh, you definitely will. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're not covered. And I think you can buy some insurance as you go to Morocco, maybe before you get there. Check with your insurance companies, because we've never been to Morocco, so we don't really know for sure. But certainly your van insurance may not cover you for Europe unless you've checked and upgraded or paid extra for it. Medical insurance. So Wendy knows a bit more about medical insurance, don't you?
Yes, because our e-HIC cards have run out. We've now applied for, and they were free, the G-HIC cards.
Yeah, so the e-HIC stood for European Health Insurance Card. So that's the e-HIC system, and that really had a reciprocal arrangement, didn't it?
Yep.
With the NHS or the UK and European countries. The G-HIC card stands for Global Health Insurance Card. It's the same thing, effectively, isn't it?
Yep. And it's free. You just apply online. It only takes a few days to get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so we applied for ours ages and ages ago. I don't think they run out, do they? Or do they last for 5 years?
Yeah, they do. Yes,
Oh.
I think they do. They last a while. It's not every year.
They last for years.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Also, it's recommended that you don't rely on that sort of free reciprocal health insurance, because that won't cover you for repatriation. So if you were seriously ill and you needed to go back to the UK, you wouldn't be covered. So you need separate medical insurance. One of the things that we've signed up for is the Revolut card, which is a sort of multi-currency debit card which we transfer money onto, and there's sort of free transactions to go from pounds to euros, or to I think 150 other currencies. So we don't get charged a fee for doing that. The exchange rate's okay. I mean, we're currently getting about €1.17 per pound when we transfer money from our UK bank account. But that also comes with medical insurance, so global medical insurance for us to the value of £10 million for us both. and I paid £10 a month for that. So that might be an option for you if you're looking for sort of medical insurance. Some people like to go completely belt and braces and go for the, things like Red Pennant, which covers medical insurance, I think, as well.
Yeah, it's very popular, Red Pennant. A lot of people here have Red Pennant. Yes.
So, talking about money, we always used to go and change up a big stack of money, like £1,000 or £2,000, if we were going on a big trip. Go to the post office, change it into euros, then you carry in like 1,000 or 1,200 euros, 2,000 euros, whatever it was, in cash. And then, of course, there's always the worry about A, losing it, and B, changing up more money if you spent it all. So, Wendy actually saw online, didn't you?
Yes, I saw another YouTuber was recommending the Revolut card, and then I saw it again recommended by another YouTuber. So I thought, let's look into it, and it is what they said. It's very good, and we can't.
Oddly, Wendy mentioned it to me, and I'd sort of stumbled across it. I think I'd seen it on Facebook or something, and I'd gone and had a look. And I was looking at exactly the same. Well, I'd looked at a few, and Wendy said, "Oh, we should look at the Revolut card." And I thought, yeah, I was actually looking at that. So I looked at all the T's and C's, and it seemed really, really good. Especially as you can just go onto your online banking, transfer money to the Revolut card, and then switch it to any other currency, and then spend it in that currency. So there's no sort of retailer fees to pay. You just tap your card and away you go. Plus you can draw money out from that as well. It really is good, and one of the reasons, a little story about our bank, Santander, is that we sort of regularly send money to the grandchildren in Sweden, and it costs £25 as an administration fee to send any amount of money to Sweden, as an example. We send it other places as well, but then I found out on the Revolut card you can actually set up a link, so you get a little hyperlink, like a clickable link that I can email or text to my family in Sweden. They click on that link and tell it where to send that money. There's no fees involved in that. It just transfers the money, which is, that's saving me £25 a time, and we might do that a couple of times a year.
We do it for their birthdays. They're coming up their birthdays next month.
Yeah,
both of them.
So we'll be doing that again. So that's good. So the Revolut card, very good. Currently costs us £10 a month. I paid in advance 120 quid for the year. I think it's gone up to 140, but it includes some other stuff as well, like a subscription to the Times newspaper is the one I can remember. There's some other bits and pieces as well. I think you get free access. You get free access to VIP lounges at airports, which is, if you use airports a lot. We used to, we don't now, but we've used those lounges before, and they are very good indeed. You often get a shower in there, drinks and snacks and stuff, very good. But that's included for free. So have a look at those. Very, very useful. Vehicle breakdown insurance, and again, I'd say Red Pennant is probably the premium. It covers you for everything, including getting your motorhome or car and caravan back home. Really, really good. expensive, but it is a premium product.
I've never ever heard a bad word said about
No.
the Red Pennant.
No. One of our neighbours signed up for Red Pennant for this rally, and their van was had a diesel particulate filter problem. Had to go in the garage. He's here, but they paid. The Red Pennant paid for him to rent a little cabana chalet. And if you haven't seen the chalets at Alania, look at some of the previous videos. The tour part 2, the Alania tour part 2, shows you all the chalets and cabanas over there. Absolutely marvellous. So he got one of those for a week while his van was in getting repaired. Really, really good. We've relied on various. We've had Red Pennant. We've relied on the RAC. When we were full-timing, the full-time motorhome insurance covered us for Europe. So, and that worked well. So, depends on your budget, how far you want to go, and what sort of, insurance you want to get.
I don't know who we're with now. Who are we with now?
We are with, I think, there's the thing. I think it's Green Flag.
Oh, Green Flag. Okay. I couldn't remember either. Yeah.
The great it's through the insurance company, so it's all done through, and we're through one of the big clubs for the insurance. That was the best way to go. But the UK breakdown people back it off to a European breakdown service, and it just works. So reading on down next. How to get across to Europe. Do you want to talk about that? I think I just do what Wendy tells me and how to get across. We normally go on the tunnel, don't we?
We do go on the tunnel because we used Abbey-Well, but now Pippin's got the pet passport. I would look to see if the Dover-Calais crossing is cheaper because they've got the pet lounge. Because we won't leave Pippin in the vehicle while we go across.
Yeah,
we won't do it, and we don't put her in kennels either. No. So we've only got the option of using the pet lounge, using the tunnel, or if we can get a cabin across to Santander from.
The cabins are very good. If you can get a pet-friendly cabin, that's if it's a longer trip. We've done that. Did that when we went from Newcastle to Imue.
Oh yes, you can go that way. Yes, lots of options. Depends where you live. Yes.
Yeah. So if you're further north, going across to Newcastle or Hull to Amsterdam.
Yeah, you can get a pet-friendly cabin there.
Yeah, that's a 16-hour journey. So you sort of need a sort of space to relax and
But I might be wrong. But I think if you're not worried about the you haven't got a dog or your dog's all right to be left, I think the cheapest is Newhaven to Dieppe is the cheapest way to get across.
Yeah.
But
I know some people.
Some dogs are all right in the vans.
If it's just a 3-hour journey or something, they leave their dogs in the van. And I think probably Pippin would be all right for 2 or 3 hours.
Yes.
Because there's water, and we'd probably leave a pad down for her to go to the toilet if she was desperate. But she's normally fine. So different ways. We have found the tunnel to be the best for motorhome. It's easy onto the tunnel, easy off. You're straight onto the motorway, and then it's a short drive to places like Wissant to park up for the night, isn't it? Although that's getting busier and busier.
I think it might be being camping car soon, perhaps.
Yeah, we think it's going for camping car park card.
Yeah, I think it is.
Because the sort of prep for the barriers were up last time we were there. Okay, so where to park up? Can you park for free? Do you need campsite? Depends, doesn't it?
I think it's more difficult if you're towing a caravan. I think you can use some airs, because when we were at an air in Spain, there were people with caravans. So yes, it is possible. Yes.
Archena,
Yeah, that for example.
The air in Spain before
Yeah.
we came here was Archena, and there were like six or eight caravans being towed and parked up in there, and they'd been there for a while.
And when we were in that other one near at the top of Spain, again, you could have parked there with your caravan, but need a bit of research to look.
I think you know, with towing a caravan, you're better off to pre-plan your journey.
Yeah.
And book into sort of the smaller campsites, because it can be very difficult, if not impossible, to park in an air in France, because simply they're not allowed to park caravans in airs in France. They just don't have them, and they're not set up for them. You know, because often sort of small tight spaces, and you really have a job to fit a caravan and a car into an air, or at least you'd have to take up 2 spots, and I think you'd get a knock on the door in France. But certainly in Spain there are some, so that's worth thinking about. But free park-ups, there's a lot of them, and we've used all the airs books for free park-ups, because we did a lot of sort of village hopping around France when we first started. Free airs. Sometimes you'd have to pay. I think the most we paid was €10, but that had showers. It was like a campsite. It was empty. It was a bit weird to stay on a completely empty campsite with you pay at the barrier type thing. We only stayed there for one night because it wasn't great. But all the other airs, every village across France seems to have an air, with at least 1 or 2 spaces to park up. And we found some beautiful places, haven't we? Absolutely marvellous. And you'll see some of the ones where we've paid through the camping car park card, but similar sites all over France in little villages. So it's worth getting all the airs books from Vicarious Media. So that's
well, I like to look through them. I know you can use them. We have got Park for Nights and Search for Sites, and all of them, but I like the books.
Park for Night and Search for Sites.
Yeah.
We've got a subscription to the Search for Sites app on our phone, and that works really, really well. If you're near a place, so it has a spot for where you are currently on the map, and then you can see what sites are around, and you can click on one of those. It brings up a description and some pictures, and very often reviews, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I don't just
really
like
good.
to plan. I like to have a stop I've planned, and then have a plan B as well, in case you can't get on there or something happens. So I like to have more than one option.
We've always
away,
gone for that, haven't we? We've always gone for a plan B type arrangement, where we've said, right, okay, we want to go that direction, so we're going to go to either there or there. Now, where's the nearest place to the one we've chosen? Is that sort of 5-10 miles away? And that's sort of what we look for, because we have had to move on.
We had to do that on the way down.
Yeah.
Plan A didn't work.
Yeah, Plan A didn't work. Yeah. So so that's always good. Getting medication and prescription. So a lot of people we know, because we've been asked, and we've been on sort of long-term medication. What do you do about getting medication? Certainly when we were able to stay over for much longer than the 90 days, Wendy would get a 3-month prescription, wouldn't you? Go to the doctors.
Yeah, I got that. You can get it in the UK easy to get 3 months.
You get a 3-month prescription, but then
that runs out. If
we keep a copy of a prescription And on occasion we've been able to go to a pharmacy in Spain, just hand that over and say, can you feel this? And as long as it's not too outlandish, and none of the medications you were on were that bad, so and they just dispense them over the counter. Seems a lot more lenient, if you like, in terms of what medication you get over the counter in Spain, which is really good and helpful. But GP, get your 3-month supply, and a lot of GPs, they can sometimes be a bit iffy about, oh no, we can't give you 3-month supply, we can only give you a month, or we can give you an extra month. But if you press them, they can do it, and they will. So speak to them nicely, but firmly. I think you have to be firm sometimes. Now here's a difficult one. Clean air zones. So we've got the Crit Air sticker for France. So these are like ULEZ zones. If you've heard of ULEZ in London, this is like that in France and Germany and other countries. I think up in Belgium as well they have them. So we travel mainly through France and Germany. So we've got the Crit Air just in case, because we've gone through towns and villages in France where they are clean air zones. But as long as you've got the sticker which says what rating you are, I think you're allowed to go in. I think if you're really, really quotes polluting, then the zones might be, well, you can't, you're not allowed in with that level. But what you can do is you can go into for France, you can order these online before you go. So give it ours. For this van, ours arrived in about a week. So we went to certificate.air.gouv.fr certificate. I'll put a link to this in the description below, because that's quite a difficult URL. And in Germany, because the Germans have clean air zones, we nearly got caught out. The sat-nav
we haven't
warned
got that
us.
one, have we?
No, we didn't order that one because we didn't think we'd be going into
near,
town.
no.
But we were directed to an air in Germany that was inside a clean air zone. So when the sat-nav said, "Oh, you're entering a clean air zone," we turned around and found another one, Plan B, for the airs. But you can go to. Oh, I'm not going to read this out; it's so long. uk.diplo.de, but I'll put the links in the description below. You can also get your German clean air sticker from any TÜV-Süd site in Germany, and you can, I think they're the MOT sites, places, so you can buy them there, and I don't think they're that expensive, like €20 or something like that. So those are those, but you do need them. So if you go into a clean air zone in France or Germany, when you get home, and you haven't got a sticker, when you get home, you'll get a little notice through your door saying, "Pay us a fine." I think it's like €100 or €200 fine. So rather than the UK or London system where you have to pay in advance to go in, you have to prove that your vehicle's not that polluting. So it's quite good. But then the last thing that we wanted to cover, sigh of relief at the end here, is the pet passport and animal health certificate. But Wendy's dealt with that, so you can describe all about that.
Yes, if you've first thing you'll have to do is get your dog inoculated against rabies, And then I'm thinking you have to wait 21 days. Was it 28? I can't remember really. And then
Yeah.
you can apply and you'll have to get an animal health certificate, which would be the cheapest you can get. Usually is £99. Usually from like Abbywell Vets, or there are some other mobile services that do it. But often, like us, our local vets cost you over £200. But once you're in Europe, you've done that, you've got through with your animal health certificate, you can get yourself a pet passport if you're in Spain, and then that'll last you for 2 or 3 years, so you won't need to pay again. So that's the best thing I can think you can do. I don't know about France. I think you can still get them in France.
What's that?
The
Pet passport?
yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
There's
think
always
it's...
say they're not. Rumours go round that maybe the French won't give you them anymore unless you've got a definite address. But
Well, what we've heard is that unless you've got a residential address in France, you can't get that from a French vet. However, those are just internet rumours. I don't know anybody with definite experience of being refused because they haven't got that. But a quick trip over the border into Spain, and the Spanish vets, the reports are, they don't mind.
you just
As long as you're here and you're staying somewhere. I mean, we're staying on the Alania resort, and we gave that address, so and it was no problem. So, so it might be, if you know what the real deal is, like you've been refused in France to get a pet passport, let us know in the comments, because people want to know that. And
is it good enough? Can you just give you a campsite in France, or I mean, you could stay on a site for one night in Spain and give that address.
Yeah,
they don't check it or anything, so it's not a problem.
No, as long as you've got a proper address to give them, they put it into their system and it's job done. So easy. I think it's easier in Spain from what we've heard.
But we don't
maybe more complex in France, but it definitely can be done. And then that saves you all that animal health certificate. And from what we've heard, vets in the UK are completely hacked off with this animal health certificate. They don't even want to do it. No. That's why they charge so much.
Yeah.
Because they're hoping that people won't go to them. And I think that's probably the way it'll work out.
When we went to Sweden earlier in the year, we paid over £200, and they never even checked Pippin's health. It's just a joke.
They scanned her chip.
That was all they did.
Printed the form out and signed it. And then we had to come back in an hour. We didn't leave Pippin there. It's like, oh no, take your dog away, come back in an hour. That'll give me time to print the form out and sign it. And then we turned up at reception an hour and a bit later. The form was at reception, so we didn't see the vet again.
No.
That was it, done. There was no, so there's a bit of a weirdness. So the pet passport thing is really good, I think. If you're coming over regular, if you're coming over once, go to Abbywell, 99 quid for the first time, job done. Don't need it again. But if you're not happy to get a pet passport, or you're not sure, go to Abbywell second time, and it's £69 because they've already got the form ready. So all they need to they're not actually making up the form again, so they just print it out, sign it, and it's done. And it's when we got the Abbywell health certificate this time, it took about 10 minutes. We pre-booked the appointment online. Then when we turned up, they said, "Oh yeah, fine, yep." scan chip the chip in Pippin's neck, and that was it, done. So really simple. But there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's it for the 10 things that we think you might need to think about when you're coming over to Europe for the winter sun, or at any other time in your motorhome or caravan. So we're gonna wrap that up, but just want to tell you that we are in our next video we are going to start our decluttering, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
We've sort of already started it with our thinking. We've been watching a lot of videos on, so come back for the next video and we'll show you what's in our cupboards, what's in our drawers, and how much stuff we've got to get back into this little van. We're hoping that we can get rid of a load of stuff, have a bit more space, be a bit organised.
Yes.
So until then, it's goodbye from us.
Yes, it is. Goodbye.
So, say goodbye, Wen.
Goodbye, everybody.